So next we're going to do the splash test. Remember, the left two are going to be a 357 Magnum. The two on the right are going to be the 38 Smith & Wesson. So let's check out what happened with the 357. Okay, I'm not sure if that was a side hit or what, but it tore out the side of the bottle. Let's see the bigger one. Okay, that's a solid hit. Right through there, and it tore out the whole back. So how about the 38 Smith & Wesson? There's a good solid enter. And there's the exit right there, through and through, without much disruption on the bottle itself. How about this one? Same thing there. Actually, that's kind of a weird one. Oh, you know, I might hit it twice. But there's no real disruption to the bottle. There's just clean holes going through. So with the water in the bottle, I was trying to reproduce a hydrostatic shock or some sort of it, but as you can clearly see, the difference between the damage to the plastic skin of the bottle with that bullet going through it, there's just the power. There's no comparison to the power between the 357 and the 38. So after seeing that, it begs the question, why on earth would police still walk around with the less powerful cartridge? Well, there's a couple different reasons. Okay, so you don't need as beefy as a frame on the gun, for one. Two, they're cheaper to produce, much cheaper than the 357 Magnum, and because it was still in its infancy at the time. It was only 6 years old. I think it was made in Elmer Keith finally got it out to the companies, what, 1936, I think, and this was made in 41. Now, throw in that this is a Lend-Lease gun, 38-200 to help out the Brits, but as a general police gun, you know, you got to take into considerations, you know, the economics of it too, but also the power of the cartridge. As we saw with the recoil, you don't want to have a huge recoil when you're walking a beat if you're having to shoot at somebody. You want to be able to get a quick shot and a quick follow-on shot. At that point, you want to just stop the threat. The power doesn't matter. Now, as a military weapon, yeah, you're going to want more power, okay, because you want to actually the target. This is just made to basically protect yourself or stop the threat. You can certainly stop somebody with a 38 Smith & Wesson. Is it going to be as fast as a stop with the 357? Probably not, unless you hit a vital. But you could probably carry more cartridges. They're a lot lighter, they're cheaper to make, the frames are smaller, and they do the job. Also, something to consider is, and they probably didn't at the time, I don't know, I wasn't there, but they also had to consider over-penetration. You saw what happened with the 357. It went through that bottle, shredded it, and then kept on going. These, it went through the bottle, through and through, without much damage, but I doubt it went much further. Now, like we saw in the swing tests with the steel, okay, there's considerably less swing on there with the 38 as opposed to the 357. It's still enough to stop a man, not a problem, okay? But is it going to over travel through several walls? At the time, a lot of walls were made out of solid wood and weren't doing drywall and cheap things at the time. But also consider a lot of shacks and all that, you know, from the Great Depression. Things were a little bit cheaper back then, the Hoovervilles and that. Looking into the history, you can see there was a lot of reasons why they did this. Mostly probably economic, probably not so much focused on the over travel and all that, but that's also something to consider now. So is there anything wrong with having a little 38 as a police gun? No, absolutely not. Are you going to get as much power out of it? No, not even close. But will it do the job? Yes, it will.